Hello and welcome to the As Yet Untitled Podcast by two people who have no idea what they're talking about, and Jess.
Hey.
You managed to get that out there, just okay.
Yeah.
You screwed up a little bit, but it's fine.
It's fine. As you know, I am Tony.
Yeah, I'm Shaun.
And yes, and we have
there's a
Jess.
I'm Jess.
Yeah.
Hi.
Do you want to give some self-promotion?
Oh,
Cheeky self-promotion?
sure. I mean, you can definitely follow my Instagram. It's at Jess Olsen without an E, so it's Jess OLSN, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I have a mental health account, but that's
You
each
can
to their own.
find
You
it.
can find that if you want to find it, but yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Cool.
Some cheeky self-promotion over. Today's episode is a continuation from the last episode, which, if you haven't watched, you're a scrub. Go watch it. That was one with Thea, and it was cartoons from our childhood. So we're going to continue it this week with a live-action version. So we're going to be doing live-action shows from our childhood. So a lot of 90s and noughties stuff, I imagine, again.
Yep.
Or before,
I think.
maybe.
Yeah, mine's mostly that
Yeah.
kind of area. Area.
We're also going to do Australian accents throughout the whole thing.
That's going to go very badly. Offend so many people.
That works with one of my choices, actually. So yeah.
Yeah, so there's no animations, no cartoons. This is all just live action stuff. It's game shows, I guess, documentaries, I don't know, puppets, all that stuff. That's all okay. That's a go.
Yeah,
So-
basically anything that's not animation is considered at least within our choosing here.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, as you're the guest, do you want to go first?
Yeah, okay. So this one is, I feel like everyone has at least seen one episode of this, whether or not you were born in the 90s or noughties or whenever. That's Tracy Beaker.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that came out in 2002, so I was only 4 when that came out, but I'm pretty sure I saw it as of the age of 4. And obviously it stars Danny Harmer as Tracy.
Has she done anything else? I feel
No,
like I
I
only know
really
her as
don't
Tracy
think
Beaker.
that
She does
has-
club nights.
Oh.
As Tracy Beaker?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Like,
Wait,
she
she
actually did it.
performs as herself? Like,
Oh,
as
kind of. Like, she
Tracy
just,
Beaker?
like, you know, like, they DJ, in quotes. Like,
Yeah.
DJs nights. And she did one in Pop World in Guildford not that long.
What?
I say not that long ago. A while ago, but
Well,
while I was in Surrey.
she should do an SU night at our university.
Nick and Dom have done one, so
Yeah,
You
I
see
feel
it.
like we were actually going to do that.
just get a whole CBBC cast to come in and just
Yeah,
DJ.
exactly. I just feel like that show, it was so important as like a young person from like a privileged background to watch other
Yeah.
kids who actually go through like struggles with like foster homing and all of that kind of thing. So it was obviously entertaining.
Yeah.
Justine Littlewood, you know, the local mean girl, but like it was just good to see the other side of everything.
It was also a really diverse cast
it
as
was.
well.
Yeah. Wasn't the guy who played like the bad boy kid? He was in that film with Paul Rudd recently. Was it The Fundamentals of Caring
What?
Oh.
on
my
Netflix?
God, yes.
Yeah, it's that same kid, and he plays like
Like
a
a kid with,
disabled.
like, cerebral palsy or something.
really?
Yeah,
isn't
he
it?
plays like a severely disabled kid who Paul Rudd becomes like his carer, and they go on like a trip
Wow.
together, and it's a really fucking good film.
They go on a road trip, they find Selena Gomez on the way.
Yeah,
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, it's a
What
really
a
good film.
star-studded cast.
it's a good film. It's wholesome as well. Okay,
Love that.
Tracy Beaker is a good one.
Yeah, I felt like it would start off like with a bang, you know, if I picked Tracy Beaker to go. So yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sean,
Shall
Sean,
I go?
you go next because...
Okay, where am I? Oh no, I'm at the top of my list. Hold on, let me go to the bottom.
Reverse.
Where we go? Okay. Right, let's stick with the CBBC shows. Chuckle Vision.
Oh, classic.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, it's, you know, the Chuckle Brothers.
Rest in peace.
Just
Yeah,
kind of,
rip.
yeah, they're just getting up to antics. It's just slapstick humour in it, and
Yeah.
it's funny. I mean, it started airing in 1987,
Oh my goodness.
which is crazy, and it finished in 2009. So that's like a
That's
long run.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they carried on doing like
Bits.
pantos and stuff after
Mm.
that. I think which one is it? Barry? Barry is the one that died, and Paul is the one that's still alive,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Paul still does like pantos and stuff.
Yeah,
Which is
he was
crazy.
really in the scene, but like, yeah, him and his brother were just iconic. And
Yeah.
I think
That's like...
It's so sad for everyone in that
It is
generation.
a part of everyone.
It's
Yeah.
peak
Like,
British humour.
yeah.
Everyone in Britain knows who the Chocolate Brothers
Yeah,
are.
exactly.
Like, even, it was a kind of show that your parents would even be happy to sit and watch with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be like, oh, what's this crap you're watching? They'd be like, oh, look, you're watching Chocolate Vision. They'd sit down and watch.
And it had like the catchiest theme song of all time.
Oh, yeah, yes, it did.
I'm not going to sing it.
I feel like I can't remember it.
Isn't it just
Well,
You have to do a little snippet.
I can't even do it. Yeah,
I
we'll,
can't even
we'll find
try.
it somewhere.
I'm not going to play it either. 'Cause we'll get
Copyright.
copyright strikes. Yeah, we'll play it after.
Yeah, okay. I'm excited to hear that actually, because I know I'll recognise it as soon as
Yeah.
I hear it. But right now I'm like mind blank. So
Tony, what's yours? Let's go.
So, going for something that I just feel like I need to put out there. This would have been up there with my top ones, but I just feel like it kind of fits where we are, which is Art Attack.
yes.
I hate you, Tony. You do this every time. Every
I'm
episode.
so sorry.
This is number one on my list.
Is it?
Yeah, this is the top of my list, and you
Really?
destroyed it from the start. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to go straight out with it because my love for it just knows no bounds.
You hurt me.
I wrote that on my initial list,
Yes.
but yeah, I'm glad it made the cut for you.
Oh,
You as
oh,
well.
It's the top of mine.
So just a little bit about it. What I could find about it, it was running from 1990 to 2007, which is a pretty good,
Wow.
pretty
Yeah,
good run.
it's another good
It
run.
had a spin-off of Smart, which was
Yes.
for I feel like it was
I don't think
a
that
lot
was
younger.
necessarily a spin-off. It was just kind of like what
It's
they...
definitely in like a related shows kind of
Yeah.
way. Neil Buchanan was the best person ever.
Yeah.
I just remember like he had such great charisma.
Neil
Like,
Buchanan and Bob Ross are
Yeah.
the gods of art.
They
No
are,
one, no one
yes.
else matters in my mind.
Especially art education. But like it was just such a good show, and I'd sit there and I'd always ask my mum, like, "Hey mum, can we get some PVA glue?" And
Yeah,
she would
PVA,
know.
oh,
She would know that Art Attack was on the TV.
Yeah, anytime you mention PVA glue, it's like you definitely got that from Art Attack.
just the word PVA glue
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
brings back just memories of
Yeah.
Art Attack
I
and
just
him
love
saying it.
I love the animation of the
Yeah.
Art Attack, with the little
Yeah,
clay
like the title sequence.
Yes.
splodgy thing. Yeah, splodgy thing. Well, that's
Yeah, the splodge.
that's definitely
It's a
like an
splodge.
artist term.
Do you guys remember the clay talking head that was in my
Yes.
favorite episode?
Wasn't
was
there like a
creepy.
whole not a scandal thing? It was like something about like his eyebrows look like a penis or
Oh my
something. So people were like, oh, look at this hidden thing in Art
I
Attack,
don't think
and
it was a
just
hidden thing.
If it was from Disney show, like a Disney
Yeah,
something or other,
like-
then maybe it would have made sense to have a hidden
Yeah, because
Something
obviously
or other.
they're all part of secret societies.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, they're all lizard people.
conspiracy theories. Next episode.
God. I have some more things to say about Art Attack. 'cause
go
it
on,
was top
go
of my
for it.
list.
It was top of your list. Go for it.
The giant art attacks.
Mm.
I still remember so many of those where they would go out and it'd be a massive field and they just do this giant art thing. That was always cool.
Using
they did
a
one of those
weird
every
one.
episode.
Yeah, and always with like a weird material
Yeah.
kind of thing.
So true.
And I remember I would watch it with my mum and because she's the most artsy person ever, we would just do art things. So, I'm terrible at art now, mainly because I decided to go through the music route instead. But back then when I was a kid, that kind of gave me the creative mind that I still have now, even though I don't use it in the same way. So yeah, I owe Neil Buchanan for my attempted music career.
It's like a good
Yes.
platform.
Yeah, it just kind of gave me some creative
Spark.
creative intelligence. Is that a thing? I
Yes.
guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
creativity.
Yeah. Sure.
it sparks it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I'd put
Took
that
the
one
first
out
thing
there.
on my
so-
list.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I had to put it out there quite early. Just
So
That's
annoying.
fair enough.
we all love Art Attack.
Yeah, definitely. Is it my
Okay.
turn?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go for another one.
All right, so this is completely different
Nice.
to Art Attack. So we're going with the old classic Hannah Montana.
Yes.
No.
It's such a classic. It's iconic. You get the limo round. Yeah, I'm not gonna sing it, but just the whole the title song is just amazing, and they had a game version of it as well, which I loved. I think it was on the Wii, maybe.
Oh my god, I
I
think
have
I
no
remember
idea.
this.
PlayStation. I'm not sure. No, it was the Wii.
The PlayStation had a version of everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. So did the Wii, actually. But yeah, it came out in 2006, so I didn't realise it came out that early. I thought it was later than that, but
I've had a few of those moments when I was researching for this list where I was
Yeah.
like, oh, surely it came out year 2000, and I'm like, oh no, 2006, 2008. Like,
yeah,
what? That's
mad.
insane.
Honestly, I just remember the first time I saw an episode of it, and I was just so confused because I thought the characters of Miley and Hannah were two separate people. And I was just so confused, like, what the hell is happening right now? They look so alike. Maybe that's because, like, they're secret twins or something, but it never quite actually occurred to me that they're the same person until I think I saw the reveal of that episode where she, like, flips her wig on and just shows her friend, like, I'm Hannah Montana.
The fact that just Billy Ray Cyrus, who is already like a massive star for like Achy Breaky Heart or whatever, and then he just was like, oh, I'm gonna get into a Disney show, bring all of my kids into it.
He was just the best dad though. Like, he was just an amazing dad. He was so chill. But he like disciplined them. It was just amazing. I just loved that show growing up.
I feel like my mum was very accepting of me watching Hannah Montana because of Billy Ray Cyrus. Because because she was just watching it. She was like, I recognise him, and then like I just feel like it ended up with me and my mum like Googling it and being like, oh, this is actually Billy Ray Cyrus and his daughter, and it's a show about his daughter
and his son.
His son's not in it.
Yeah.
No.
I'm almost certain, right?
No,
he was in something else.
No, I am almost certain,
Which
right?
one?
I can't think of his name.
I know that the like Noah Cyrus was in it as like a character, like a cameo kind of character.
I feel like, I swear his son is in it as well.
As in Trace, the one with like loads of tattoos all over his like face and
possibly.
body. I don't remember that in Hannah Montana.
Oh well, no, back then he didn't. I imagine. I swear. I mean, I didn't watch it. I just know.
I feel like he definitely wasn't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember any of them showing up in there.
Okay, fair enough.
I feel like Noah was too young to show up unless she showed up in like the later
Oh no,
series,
she was definitely there like as a young, like a 6-year-old character, or something. But either way, it was just iconic, and I loved it. And honestly, like, I know now it's had like a reboot, I guess, with like, not a reboot, but just it's come back around with like Disney Plus, and now everyone on social media is just making fun of like the backing, like, I don't know what you call
like
them.
The laugh track.
Yeah, the laugh track and all of that kind of thing.
That's why iconic. I could never get into Disney Channel, because I just hated the whole laugh track. Yeah. Like with, I don't know, all of the Disney Channel shows when I was a kid, I was just like, I can't deal with this. It's
now looking back, it is pretty intense.
It is pretty bad. Like, but at the same time, the Hannah Montana movie, I would still watch it. Wow. I enjoyed it. Like, yeah, I don't care. I will still put it, like, I'll put it on and be like, this is bad. I would not choose to watch this film now, but because I watched it when I was younger, I will watch it now.
Is that the one where she wears, like, a cow dress? Like a cow printed dress?
I think so. I don't know. I just remember,
that's the only thing I remember.
She goes to her hometown, and she's like, oh yeah, I know Hannah Montana. Like, Miley goes to her hometown. It's like, I know Hannah Montana, we're friends. And then gets her to do a concert. And then she's like, how am I going to do this? Because everyone expects me to be there and Hannah Montana to be there. And she ends up revealing that she is Hannah Montana to her whole town. And everyone keeps it a secret.
Wow, really?
That's realistic.
There's something wrong with that.
It's a very out there film, but...
Gosh, maybe I need to watch it again and see if that cow print dress is in it.
Okay.
I have another Disney Channel one. Okay. If you want me to get it out there.
Go ahead.
So Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yes. That's number 3 on my list.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
I don't know why I knew that both of you were Disney Channel kids. I could just tell.
Come on.
We get pushed into it as little girls. They're like, oh yeah, just put on Disney Channel.
Exactly.
But I really liked Wizards of Waverly Place.
I preferred that. Like, I watched maybe a couple of Hannah Montana episodes and wasn't into it. As a boy, I guess that's kind of expected.
Yeah.
But Wizards of Waverly Place had a few good episodes. I feel like I remember a few good episodes.
Like, it was just pretty decent. Like, I can't remember why I started watching it, and then I think there was a time where I really was interested in it because I found out that Selena Gomez sang the the intro, yeah.
Really?
I remember figuring that out, and I was like, wow, that's really cool.
But isn't that
she's surely talented.
Where she got famous from?
Well,
in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, she was in
acting.
Barney and Friends. But that
she
really?
Was,
with Demi Lovato.
Oh
That's
my
why
God.
Pop culture, celebrity news coming over here. No, Barney and Friends, but obviously, like,
it was her standalone.
Famous from
like,
that, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why, like, I liked that whole magic thing about it, and they would had their, like, character tropes of, like, you know, their little brother who was just not very good at anything, and he was just a little brother and he was dumb. And then they had the uptight older brother, and then there was her who was a troublemaker.
It was kind of like the modern version of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That's...
In a way.
Like, it was their way of... Because I think that was a Disney show as well. I think they kind of... They wanted to... But obviously that wasn't on at the time, so it was like, okay, we need to make a more modern version. And kind of rebranded it and made... It's obviously not exactly the same, but it's the same, you know, comedic teenage witch thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that it was quite funny because I actually recently have been rewatching loads of episodes of it on Disney Plus, and I feel like I should get sponsored by Disney Plus. I've said it like 5 times now. But yeah, no, like it's actually like even now watching it, I've had a few chuckles here and there. I'm not gonna lie. My favourite character back when I watched it initially was always Alex, like Selena's character, but now I have to say it's Justin, the older brother. He is classic. His comedic timing is actually brilliant, I have to say. Very impressive.
See, I feel like already knowing, if I was to look back at this show, if I was to watch it again, I'd relate most to like their dad, who's just always stressed out. He's just always stressed out, and he's like, he lost out on being the family wizard, and now he has to deal with his children. And that whole plot line is the only reason I didn't like it, is that they had a family wizard, so there was one wizard who got to have the powers after they all grew up.
What do you mean? So
Like,
they all magic as kids, and then
one of them gets to keep it going into adulthood and be a wizard.
Huh.
And pass that on to their kids, and so on.
That seems strange.
Yeah, I didn't like it, and then I don't even remember who found out who got it at the end. But
that was the very last episode, right? Like they were in like it was like the wizard trials or something like that.
It had like a really weird subplot behind it. And I was like, it's just fun watching these people try and become wizards. Let it be that.
When did it come out and finish?
It started in 2007 and finished in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought there were more seasons and like episodes,
Yes.
but like looking back at it, it's like it felt like it lasted just so long, but now it's just, what is it? How many seasons? Like 3?
I didn't write down how many seasons I've got.
It must have been about 3 or 4 seasons, and then a movie or something.
I didn't mind the movie either. It wasn't the best, but it was okay.
My next one's a perfect example of what you're talking about just there, where it feels like there was loads of it and it was going forever, but it wasn't at all.
Go on then.
Come Outside.
Oh, yes!
Yep. So,
Memories.
anyone that's not British won't have a clue what this is. But it was
probably younger than us as well.
I don't know, because so it originally aired from 1993 to 1997. So before I was born and before you guys were born as well. It finished when I was born.
Yeah.
But it still remains one of the BBC's most watched children's programs of all time.
Okay, so
Really?
And it's actually, it was repeated on CBBC and CBeebies until late 2012.
Oh wow, okay, so then a lot of people would have watched that. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
actually.
they just kept it going.
Yeah.
And the thing, they kept it going, but there was hardly any episodes.
Really?
Can you
How many?
quickly Google it? Because I didn't write it down, but there was like a very small amount of episodes of it, but they just kept playing it because people loved it, which is crazy.
There were only 40 episodes.
40
What?
episodes, and yet it managed to
Considering
air.
it's on all the time.
Yeah, and it's been on TV from 1993 to 2012, and it was only 40
mad.
episodes.
Yeah.
Crazy. And I mean, for those of you who don't know what it is, it was just like a woman, Auntie Mabel, and her dog Pippin, flying around in their polka dot airplane, and like just learning stuff. Like there'd been an episode that would just be about ducks.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
They would go to somewhere where they like make something. And
Yeah.
just kind of like learn how they made a thing, and you'd be like.
And they'd get there with their aeroplane. Like they'd go from
Yeah.
like one like place to the next in an aeroplane, even though it's probably just like a 5-minute walk down the road. There was this one
Super
episode.
eco-friendly.
Yeah, there was this one episode where she went to W.H. Smith's
Really?
to find a pencil, and then she like bought one pencil, and then was like, she turned to the camera like, did anybody wonder where pencils come from? Let's go and take a look. And then they went on and flew there to find out.
Yes.
I love it.
It was wonderful though. It was like it's one of the few educational shows I can think of that's still brilliant and actually you know, like kids have clearly loved it for a long time, and it hasn't aged somehow,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
My mum, when I mentioned that we was doing this podcast episode, she mentioned Come Outside almost straight away, and then every time she mentions it, she sings the theme song. And I'm just like, Mother, why?
Yeah, another good.
I've got that theme song in my head actually right now.
I'm not singing it.
Yeah,
no one needs to deal with that from me.
Such a good one. All right.
Would you like to give another one, Jess?
Sure. Okay. So this is kind of like a similar. No, it's not. It's not similar. Ignore me. Basically, okay. The only similarity is that it's iconic.
Yes.
That's Big Cook, Little Cook.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was on my list as well.
Is it?
You guys have so many like crossovers.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Give it a
just
try.
honestly I just used to love watching this show, and I actually had forgotten about it until I started doing research for this, and I came across it, and I was like, what? Oh my God, I can't believe that this was a
Flashbacks.
massive part of my life, and I couldn't remember it. But yeah, it came out in 2004, so I thought it'd been going from like earlier than that, to be honest.
See, I thought it was later.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, because I never watched it. I feel like I
did
just
you
missed
not?
it. So I felt like I missed it because it came out when I was
Later.
older. But
I feel like
maybe
you would have
not.
enjoyed it, to be fair, because it was for like everyone, really. It
Yeah.
didn't have to be a specific target audience.
It was just for, I feel like, toddlers.
Yeah.
Like kids that you would tell fairy tales to. It
Yeah.
would just be like that age. That's up to you when
Just-
you're an adult.
Yeah. But yeah,
you can tell me fairy tales now.
Oh my God.
That's it. We've got to find
Later
Big Cook, Little
tonight.
Cook.
But yeah, essentially Big Cook, Little Cook. It was a show about literally a normal-sized human man,
Yeah.
chef, and then his little like partner guy, who was
Wasn't
the
his
little
name
cook.
Little?
Yeah,
Like,
it was
his
called
name was Little?
His name was Little, and he
Wow.
was just he was like a pint-sized man,
Yeah.
really. And they did actually cook things, right? Like, I'm not
So was
sure.
it was it literally like a cooking lesson show?
Kind
sort
of,
thing?
but then there was also, it was a similar thing to Come Outside, where they would like travel places to get ingredients and like find out where it came from.
From what I did like a little bit of research because I was
Yeah.
like, I remember watching the show. I don't remember a thing about it.
Yeah.
So there would be like a fairy tale story, and then they would end up meeting one of the characters from this fairy tale, solving a problem with them, and then making them a meal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
then they would just go off on their way.
But the little one, he rode around on like a wooden spoon, right?
It was a flying. It was a
Like, he travelled in the air, like,
it
he
was a
flew on a
flying
wooden spoon.
Okay, so he was also magic.
He was, yeah.
That explains a lot.
I mean, if you're that size, you
basically
kind
a
of have
fairy.
to be, don't you?
Yep. I feel like surviving in a kitchen would be very difficult at that size unless you're magic.
Yeah. It was iconic. I love that show.
Yeah. I
If
don't
you
know
guys
what
keep
to say
having
about
the same things, your lists are going to be over real quick. Whose go is it?
I don't know.
I'll go for one. I'm gonna start getting through some of these game shows that
Oh, yeah. I
I
reckon
swear
we
to
can
God,
have
if
a
you
few
take my game
crossovers,
show, because my
honestly.
next one's a game show as well.
Oh, no, me too.
Oh no,
God.
okay, the one that I believe is your one I'm not going to put out there then,
Okay.
so I'm going to go for the Crystal Maze.
Oh, okay.
That's
I've
good.
got a similar one to that.
I think that's
yeah.
the oldest
So,
one.
If yours
probably.
is similar, I will just put this out, it was based off of Fort Boyard. I don't know if you ever watched Fort Boyard.
Yes, I did, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But mine's not that either, so
Yeah.
it's all good.
So it was based off of Fort Boyard, but it was, I would say, better.
Yeah.
Just because, like, this one felt more like it was a game show, not like a show that was pretending to be a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the Crystal Maze is they would have a team, and then they would pick, like, they would go around the maze. Well, it's not the belly of the maze, and they would send like one person into a room, and they had to solve a puzzle, and they had to do it within a certain amount of time, and then they would get a crystal that they would then take to the end, and if they don't solve it in time, they get locked in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a trope for every single game show that was
Yeah.
ever played for kids.
Yeah,
But-
exactly.
Yeah, so they would get locked in the room, and then they couldn't go help the rest of their team in a later puzzle.
Yeah.
And they, like, the rest of the team could decide, like, if they got a crystal later on in the game, they could either use it to unlock the door to let the person out, or they would just keep it for the end so they could because each crystal gave them extra time in the final little like crystal thing where they had to collect gold tokens.
It is crazy
really
how
weird.
identical it is to the one I'm gonna say about.
I feel like ours are the same.
Probably. Because it's literally like the follow-on from this, essentially.
Oh no.
It's gonna be the same thing.
One.
Keep saying.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We'll do it like a 3, 2, 1 and then say it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, cool.
But yeah, so it was just like it was just pretty interesting. I can't remember the guy who it was that was on there, but it was just this bald guy and he was really intimidating.
Oh my goodness.
But it was another one of those shows, like, the reason I watch a lot of game shows, well, I used to, is because when I was younger, I would get tonsillitis about once a month.
Oh.
And it would result in me having at least a week off of school because it was contagious.
You lucky fuck.
So I would sit at home. Instead of watching kids shows, I would put on Challenge on the TV. And
Takeshi's
just...
Castle.
You
don't-
love that.
So that's on your list.
Yeah, Takeshi's
Oh my
Castle
goodness,
is on
what a
my list, but I will
classic.
bring that up later. But I would just watch these shows, and this is why it was in my top 10 TV shows of all time. Somehow they had Bob Ross on there, I swear. Or at least somehow I got in amongst all these game shows, I would just end up watching Bob Ross.
Well, I feel like that's an old show as well, and they would just play old shows during the day when
Yeah.
everyone was at work or school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
that's
true.
just... But yeah, so Crystal Maze is just my first one of those game shows that I'm putting out there.
Okay, well, I feel like we've got the same one.
Yeah, but first off, I'd just like to say
Yes.
that. So this is obviously it's the follow-on from Crystal Maze. My one is anyway, and I'm assuming it's the same.
Yeah.
But also, it's the only game show I have ever liked.
Oh. Ooh. Wait,
I-
ever?
Yeah, I'm not a big game show
Okay.
fan. Well, there's probably some quiz shows that I like, but when it comes to game shows, I think this is the only one I've ever actually really liked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you want to give us a 3, 2, 1, Tony?
sure. Okay. You guys say it after one.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Jungle Run.
Yes.
Knew it.
I wrote loads about this. So
Oh, nice.
You can jump in
I mean,
if I miss
didn't, but
anything.
yeah, go.
So Jungle Run was a British TV show, and it was aired on CITV, so it's part of the ITV network. It started in 1999 and finished in 2006, and it was the follow-on from Crystal Maze.
Which is weird because Crystal Maze is a follow-on from Fort Boyard.
Yeah, exactly.
just a way-
It was
evolving.
it was an evolution. So I watched it only when it was hosted by Dominic Wood.
Yeah, as in Dick and Dom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like he only did it from 1999 to 2000. So I don't know who did it after.
Chris Jarvis and Michael Underwood, and I loved it with Michael Underwood.
Who is that?
He ended up. Oh, I can't remember
rec-
what he ended up doing.
I recognise
after.
the name.
Google him. I didn't really go into much detail with them individually,
What was
but
the name again?
Michael Underwood. He did a lot of
Carrie
like game
Underwood's
shows.
Dad.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah, if it's the guy I'm picturing, I highly doubt it as well.
Yeah, I feel like you would recognise him. He's like. He's
Yes,
a very
no, I watched it with
recognisable
him as
person.
well.
Oh, okay.
What else
I
would
distinctly
he-
remember it with him as well.
What else did he do? This is a
He's
different part
mainly
of my
done game
childhood.
shows, I think.
Yeah, I feel like he has done a lot. Maybe like Blue Peter? No.
That.
I feel
Possibly.
like
It seems
what
like a
else?
everyone
possible
did
thing.
Blue
Don't worry, you guys can carry on talking.
Yeah,
I'll find it.
Yeah, I
Go
remember
for
it. I now distinctly remember it with him as well.
Yeah.
So I remember it with Dom and also
Yeah.
him. And basically it was teams of kids would compete in like crazy challenges to collect monkey statues or bananas before that. It was originally bananas
Was
and they
it?
changed it to monkey statues.
Oh, I think I only saw it from the monkey statues.
I only remember the monkey statues as well.
Yeah.
But when I was doing my research they were saying that.
Oh,
So, okay.
that's interesting.
And essentially they would collect these statues by doing the tasks, and then those statues would give them extra time in the final challenge. But they could also, like, if they found a task or something, they could get trapped where they were, similar to Crystal Maze, and then they could use the statues, or their teammates could choose to use the statues they'd got to unlock
Free
them.
Yeah.
But it means they wouldn't have as much time in the final challenge.
Yeah.
Same thing, essentially. And yeah, the more tasks... And then in the final one, which was like the Temple of the Monkey King, which is at the end of every episode, they would unlock doors and go further into the temple with however much time they had managed to get from the previous tasks. And then when the time ran out, they had to get out of there. And if they didn't get out of there, then they would be stuck in there and they wouldn't get the prizes. But the further into the temple they would get,
Yeah.
the more valuable the prizes were that they would
What were
win.
the prizes again? Was it like gadgets and stuff?
Yeah, it was just
Probably,
like
yeah.
Or like trips,
yeah,
places.
those sort of things. It would
Okay.
get increasingly more
Yeah.
valuable as they got in. But
I
if
just
they didn't
remember
leave,
it.
then they would only get
Yeah.
like a plush doll of a monkey.
Oh,
And that would be like
I'd
their
be
consolation
happy
prize.
with
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just-
Great prize.
I just remember it being so stressful when the timer was going and like
Yeah.
the presenter was there like, quick, you've only got 10 seconds to get out of there, run,
Yeah.
run, run. And I'm just there like stressing out as like a 5-year-old, like, oh my god.
And then they've got those like Indiana Jones moments where the door's closing
Yeah,
and
and
then
then
roll
the timer's
underneath.
going like 3, 2, 1, and then they just like slide underneath.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, perfect timing.
So I found out what I've recognised
Oh.
him from. So he was a contestant on Crystal Maze.
This is meta.
No way. This
Yeah,
is Inception.
So, like, I don't understand, yeah, like, he was on things like that, and then he just became just a British icon, so he was on Stars in Their Eyes, he
Was he
was
in
on
Big Brother?
I'm a Celebrity, I
Oh,
don't think he was
that's
on
it.
Big Brother.
He was in big. Yes, I'm a
Um,
celebrity. That's why I remember.
That
He
makes
was a
sense.
presenter on The X Factor for a little while. He's been on Loose Women for some
course
reason,
he has.
Dancing on Ice.
He's
So, yeah,
right,
like-
so he's exactly
so
the same
he's-
as every single British presenter. If you
Yeah,
think of any of
basically,
them,
yeah.
they've all done those things.
Yeah. I was gonna say
Yeah.
a lot of them have like started off with like the original Big Brothers, and
Yeah.
then they've like Alison from This Morning, like she was on Big Brother. Anyway, that's completely off topic.
Did you have anything else you wanted to say about
Um,
Jungle Run?
Jungle Run had 8 seasons.
8.
Yeah,
damn.
I feel like that's quite a lot.
Yeah.
But then again, it's a game show, so I feel like game shows usually had more than the average TV show,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know. It still sounds like a pretty
I guess
successful
it
game show, though.
Depends how many episodes. Although I do remember trying to apply to be on it
Oh wow.
Yeah.
as a like one of my like
I always
memories.
wanted to, but I never did.
Yeah, like I managed to like find the application form, I guess, online, and I like begged my parents, so I like filled out everything, and I said, please send this off, and they were like, yeah, Jess,
And
we'll
they
do
didn't.
that. Obviously, they never did, because I never even got any sort of like response from them, so yeah, that was just like shattering my dreams.
Do you guys, on the same like kind of thing, do you guys remember Raven?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that was another one that I kind of watched around the same sort of time.
That was more of like I dipped in and out of that. I never
Yeah,
really
I
watched
wasn't
like
as into
full episodes like at a time, you know.
Yeah, but it was a similar sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it was more like they tried to make it a bit more like, oh, it was a real thing, not...
Yeah, and it was like darker as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
of obviously like the theme was quite like, gothic and
Yeah.
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 It's really weird.
It was
But
weird.
whenever I see a raven or like a crow or something, I instantly just go back and picture the guy from Raven
Yeah.
for some reason.
Didn't he have like a big staff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had like the big like black coat thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I mean, I've got kind of a similar-ish game show.
Do you want to go for it?
Yeah.
Just go for it.
Okay, so this one we're going back to Disney Channel. Don't know if you remember this. The Disney Channel games.
Yes, I do remember
I've
this.
never heard of this.
Really?
I hardly watched it, but I
Yeah.
remember it happening.
I feel like not many people knew about it or know about it now, because like I try and talk to people about it and no one really knows what I'm on about. So I just thought there'll be one person watching who at least knows that what I'm talking about. So essentially, it started off in 2006 and there's 3 seasons and they're called the Disney Channel games, and you got all of the main Disney Channel show cast members to like be themselves, like as their themselves, to get into like teams of like, I think it was red, green, yellow and blue or something, and then and you have, so it's like a merge of all of your favorite Disney Channel like celebrities, whatever.
Did they play their characters?
No,
or
No,
was
they
it-
played
They were just
themselves. So
themselves.
like Selena Gomez was Selena Gomez, etc., etc. So like they would get into the teams, and you're obviously like mixing loads of different of your favorite shows together, and it's just so cool to see it all happen in front of you. And like they were basically just doing like field games.
total wipeout kind of
Yeah,
style thing.
and like tug of war and like
Yeah.
hurdles and stuff like that. But it was really simple, but it was just so entertaining, and just it was so nice to see
It's just, like,
everyone like together, because you'd see people from like Hannah Montana, like Miley Cyrus on the same team as Demi Lovato, and
you're like, oh my god, it's
yeah,
happening.
it's like, what? it was like a fangirl moment, really.
I think Cartoon Network had a similar thing, but it was like animated, and they had like
What?
normal people. So it was a game show like that, but they had some normal people, like kids, that they would have on,
Right.
and then they'd also have the animated characters, and it would be like a quiz show versus each other.
What?
That sounds hilarious.
And I don't know.
Sounds awful.
I can't remember what it was, but it was like, it was literally like a quiz show. And it was hosted by an animated character, and it had different cartoon characters in it. And I think different weeks would have like different famous Cartoon Network characters, but it would also have just normal people on it as well. And it would just act like it. Well, they was in like separate boxes, and I don't know. It was definitely like scripted.
I feel like a light bulb has gone off on your head right now.
So was it like they had a wall and they was all in their own like little booth?
Yeah, they was all in their little booth, and there was real people, but then there was also just cartoon characters.
This is just like kind of like.
And they would interact with each other and stuff. So it was obviously scripted to some degree, but it also wasn't completely
Did
scripted.
they
it
have
was
like
still like a
Bugs
quiz.
Bunny and stuff on it? Or is that
I don't think so.
something
I think it
else?
was all just Cartoon Network characters.
Okay.
But
I'm thinking of not.
Yeah.
I'm just crazy.
I remember that
in my head.
But I mean, maybe Looney Tunes did something similar
I don't
as well,
know.
because I feel like this is a kind of, if Disney Channel did it, Cartoon Network did it, they might
Looney
have had.
Tunes almost. I was about to say Looney Tunes did it first. No, they didn't. Roger Rabbit did it first of mixing, like people and characters, and cartoon characters. But
Space
I
Jam.
mean, they might not necessarily do
Wait.
it first.
What's Space Jam? That's a
Space
film, right?
Space Jams, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Looney Tunes, and then there's the other Looney Tunes film with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Can't remember what that one's
That's
called.
literally
But that one's
Back in Action.
Back in Action.
Yeah.
It's such a good film.
We're getting off topic.
Yeah, completely off topic.
But yeah, that's all I have to say about my thing.
Okay, I'm gonna go for another one then, like another.
Yeah, you got those
I
game
feel like
shows, you
it's
might as well.
technically a game show, but it's not. Which is Gladiators.
Oh my goodness!
That was an
I love
honourable mention for me.
Gladiators.
So this is another one of those shows that I would sit and watch with my mum, and
Yeah.
me and my mum really got into this because we had nothing else going on with our lives.
Weren't
So
they
it's
like-
they need to do this? Oh my god, it's this guy. They're doing this challenge. It would be so
Yeah.
intense.
Weren't the gladiators like wrestlers and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
they were professional.
Yeah.
They were all like somehow professionals in their fields, but also like not good enough to not be on a game show.
Yeah, exactly. But they would have like repeated people coming like with names,
Yeah.
right? And they would like come back and
Yeah.
Oh
But,
my goodness, I love that show.
So one thing that I vividly remember about this is even though it was from 1992 to 2000, like or at least that's when it was airing in the UK, I vividly remember these 80s style outfits that they
Yes.
had. Like they had the big hair and they was all wearing leotards that they looked like they came out of like one of those weird like 80s dance.
Wasn't the purpose?
Exercise video.
Wasn't it the
Slash
purpose?
dance.
Basically, you would go on there and you'd be doing like some like total wipeout style course, and the gladiators would be there just to, like,
It was more like-
rip you off of it and stop you
Yeah.
from finishing
It wasn't even like a course. They had like specific challenges they had to do. So it was like, when you're standing on a pedestal and you have those really big like, I can't even think what like batons or something. You're like whacking someone off their pedestal.
And you'd have to go against a gladiator
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
a tank at it and is
Yeah,
practicing.
Exactly. It's so unfair, really, isn't it?
But it's like you had to go through all of them, and then there would be like this really big event at the end, and it would just be like every episode you would pass, and then you would wait until the next episode, and then you'd have to wait until get to the final if you beat everyone.
Similar
every
to like Ninja Warrior.
Yeah,
and
it was
stuff
more
like
like
that.
a Ninja
We
Warrior
need
type
a
thing.
comeback of gladiators.
Gladiator was
I
great.
know.
Imagine if like Ninja Warrior and Gladiators or Takeshi's Castle all kind of like
Merged.
fused for like a new thing. That'd be sick.
What? That would be so cool.
But just thinking like one of my favorite things that I remember, it still happens to me sometimes. If you see two people like look like they're about to fight or something, my brain just goes, "Gladiators! Are you ready?" And I'm just
my
like,
God.
"Yes, they are." Like it just pops into my head every now and then. I'm like, "Wow, that's such a fond memory."
And anytime someone squares up to you, you just have that in your head. You're like, I'm ready for this.
Was it Gladiators that in the final like showdown you had that? Was it like a final showdown where you'd have like a almost like an agility course, and then
I
you'd have to
think so.
climb up or like dive into water and then swim and then climb up a
Yeah,
rope
I think
thing?
I think the final was the one that was most like Ninja Warrior. So like they would have their individual challenges that they would have, and then they would have like their final obstacle course.
Where they'd be
Yeah.
racing
And
across the
I think they
obstacle
would
course,
be
and the gladiators
going
would be trying to
against.
screw them up.
Yeah, they'd be
Yeah.
going against like another gladiator, so
Yeah,
they have to beat
that's
them.
what I remember the most.
But yeah, I really remember this, specifically the 80s style outfits, like those leotards that women would wear, and it'd be like all the way up towards like their rib cage. And you'd be
Yeah.
like, what? How are you doing this?
That mustn't. That would have been really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I reckon.
But yeah, I just really enjoyed Gladiators,
Yeah.
so I put it on.
That was it was on my honourable
Good
mentions.
choice.
Do you guys have any more game shows?
Many.
Oh.
I'm just gonna I can keep peppering mine in.
If you have loads, then yeah, we'll switch up.
Yeah, I'll just pepper.
I have one on a honourable mention, but
yeah, we
I'll
can
leave
wait
that
till
to the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's back to the scripted stuff here. Another CITV show. My Parents Are Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, yes! I got into that really late.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Like, it was on for ages, and then out of nowhere, I was just like, this seems like it would be funny, and I put it on, and I was like, it actually is. How have I not been watching it this whole time?
Yeah. I mean, it went from 1999 to 2006. Created by Andy Watts. It was also on Cartoon Network as well, which is probably why I've seen it, because I was just obsessed with Cartoon Network. It's about, according to the description, eccentric parents,
Wow.
Brian and Sophie, but they're literally aliens. And they just like get a bunch of orphans to be their kids and
Oh,
get
was
up
it
to adventures.
Orphans? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, because I never really got into it that much. I remember it. I remember watching the odd episode.
Yeah, it was just, they just adopted a bunch of orphans, and then, and the orphans were teaching them how to be human, essentially.
Right,
And,
okay.
Yeah, it was proper, just
Weird.
shitty humour. Like, it was just weird, simple
I feel like
humour.
that's why I didn't like it then.
But it was good. It was similar to like My Family and stuff like that, but like the kids equivalent. I didn't watch it loads, but because again, I'm more into cartoons than I am live action. But it was really funny, and it was. I just remember it being on a lot of the time. So when nothing else was on, I'd be like, oh yeah, shit, I'd watch that.
Wasn't the title sequence like animated, and
Yeah.
then the actual thing was live action, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I
That's how you
remember
got to get
it
me through the
being-
door, you know. Like, oh, it's an animated show. Oh, it's not animated. Well, I'm here now.
Yeah, I remember getting confused about that actually. I got confused about a lot of things. I was like,
It's a very easy time to get confused.
yes.
Okay, who wants to go next?
Go on, Jess.
Thanks. Okay, so I will go for one that's I think it's very close to my heart. My mum would always say that I would just sit and just like stare at the screen when watching this show. And that's Bear in the Big Blue House.
Nice.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
gonna be my number one.
Was it?
Yes.
That was on my
Oh
honorable
my
mentions.
gosh. But yeah, you can like talk.
No,
after
it's fine.
When
Go ahead.
But yeah, it came out in '97.
Yeah, I was
So,
born. Best
yeah.
year.
Well, I should have been born in '97, but I wanted to stay inside the womb a little bit longer.
I can't blame you.
Bake
Yeah, I didn't want to come out just yet. Anyway, so yeah, it was essentially about this bear who lived in a big blue house,
Yeah.
and
he could smell what you had for
wow.
breakfast.
Yes, and he had like a little bear friend, and he had like a lemur friend, which, by the way, was my favourite character.
I don't think I
Trilo.
remember that.
Yeah, its name was Trilo, and it was a lemur, and that was the first ever time I knew what a lemur was. I was like, what is this creature? And my mum was like, that's a lemur. Anyway, and so I learnt a lot that day. But yeah, and then there was the moon who sung a really cute little song
That's the
every
most
episode
vivid
end.
Memory I have of it.
Yeah.
It's just the ending song.
Luna,
Yeah.
the moon.
That is another thing that my mum loves singing along to like kids shows.
Yeah.
So sometimes she'll just sing it. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, Mum, please. Like, if
No
you're-
one knows what this show is anymore.
like, well, no, but like if she's saying goodbye
Yeah.
and like it's taking a bit long, she'll just start singing it. I'm just like, Mum, please.
Yeah, it's amazing. That song's iconic, and
It is.
I remember my mum used to tell me that I sung it like the intro theme.
Yeah.
It's like welcome, welcome, welcome to the big blue house. That's how it goes,
Yes.
right? But I used to say, because I couldn't speak at that point properly, I said wacka 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 to the big blue house.
Remix.
So, yeah, exactly. So I feel like Shakira got her inspiration from me.
You heard it here, folks.
Calling her out. But it was just a great show. Like, they had lots of different characters, and like you would, like kind of the Big Cook, Little Cook, you would find like fairy tales and just like old kind of songs, like what's that one about that girl who was eating a muffin or something, or like, and a spider.
Little Miss Muffet sat
On
on
a
a
tuffet
tuffet.
eating her kernel,
Yeah.
right, and something about a spider. Yeah, that whole thing was like in the show, and like it was sung by this character called Shadow, who was a shadow.
I remember
Shadow.
that.
Shadow,
Wow.
Shadow, where is Shadow?
Yes.
Where does Shadow be?
And she knew so much about like life, and she was basically like the life guru of the whole house.
Man, this
You're
show
bringing back
was a
so
lot-
many memories
Yeah.
that I just forgot about
And
completely.
there was like the 2 otters as well.
This show was
That's
a lot
why I
better
love
than
otters. That's where my love of otters began.
But yeah, anything you want to add to
Just
that?
one thing that
Yeah.
that I figured out when doing research, and I think Shaun figured it out as well, because I remember him researching it, sitting on the other side of the room, and he went, and I was like, where's it? But it's a Jim Henson production. So the guy from like the Muppets.
The guy who created the
Oh.
Muppets and was involved in Star Wars.
That's why it's so
Labyrinth.
good then.
Labyrinth. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was
That's
like his
amazing.
company that did it, and I was just like, this is just incredible.
Yeah.
When I found that out, because like, what a legend.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense as to why it's such an iconic show.
Yeah. Because Jim Henson can't do anything bad.
No.
But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about it.
No.
I'm definitely endowed for watching this again. That's the only thing I think I would watch it now. I want to.
I don't think it would hold up.
I'll hang out with a child and be like, look, we're watching Bear in a Big Blue House. I don't care.
Yeah, I will
You
be
don't know that.
literally when I have children. I
Yeah.
am going to be recycling all of the shows that I used to watch and just pushing them to
I mean,
watch.
that's
it.
what my mum did for me. I'd watch VHS shows that were like
Oh.
definitely extinct.
Trumpton or Camberwick Green or something like that.
Oh.
I can't
Well,
remember.
I mean,
they were
just
like clay figured.
while
Stop
we're on the
motion.
subject, it's not on my thing, but it was on my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
A show like that, Button Moon. Has
I
anyone
don't
seen
remember
Button Moon?
I don't
That is
know.
like
That is
really
definitely
old.
like my mum definitely.
Yeah, your mum
remembers
is
that.
listening right now. She's like, yeah, it's Button Moon. Yeah, my mum used to show me like shows like that, and it was really good. I mean,
What was it about?
um,
A button
just
moon.
characters on Button Moon.
I
Yeah,
feel like it was
It
a
was a-
mouse, wasn't it?
I don't
The only
have
thing I remember
many
about
Was it
vivid
like
memories.
Magpie style
Kind
animation?
of, yeah.
I feel like I might know that then.
Yeah, but there was loads of old stuff, and also Mopper Top Shop.
No, never
That
heard
was
that.
similar as Bear in the Big Blue House. It was the
Oh.
same sort of like
Kinda remember that.
puppets, but not puppets. So some of them were puppets, some of them were
Yeah.
just like a guy in a suit, like the bear. And it was just like Mopper Top owned a shop, and people would come in to buy things. Are you looking at the picture
So
of
I'm
Mopper
looking
Top
at the
Shop?
picture
Oh,
of Button Moon.
Yeah.
The
Oh.
rocket is made out of a Heinz beans can.
Yes.
And I can't not see this.
That's amazing. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, that's like really old.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mopper Top Shop as well is very similar to Bear in the Big Blue House.
I love
I
that.
just thought I had to mention it because I think you'd enjoy it because it's a very similar
Probably.
sort of thing.
Oh my god, yes, I remember this.
You remember it?
Oh, I feel like I've definitely seen. Yeah.
I watched it a lot.
That was on at like 5:30 in the morning. I
Yeah.
remember, and like I remember actually watching that because nothing else was on at that point.
Yeah.
And I was a very early riser. I still am.
See, I'd
Still get
still
up
be
at
awake
6
at that
in the
time and watching
Oh.
things.
Just complete opposite, really.
and also another thing from my honorable mentions. I mean, I've got others on my list, but I just figured we're on this topic, so I'm just
Yes.
going to say Bananas in Pajamas.
Yes.
Yes.
Before it became animated and trashy.
Oh, I literally just can't not sing these.
Yeah,
iconic
that's so
songs.
great.
And on the same thing, Tweenies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tweenies was the
I
shit.
loved Tweenies so much.
Tweenies was awesome.
I had all of the dolls of them.
Wow.
I specifically
Yeah.
had a doll of, I feel like his name was Jake.
Yes.
Was he the
Yeah.
yellow one?
No, he
Or
was
like
the
Jake
purple.
was the purple.
Oh,
no, Milo was the
Jake-
purple
Milo
one.
was the purple
Milo
one.
was the
Jake
purple-
was the yellow one.
Yeah, it was like yellow
He was
or
orange,
orange.
and he had like a mohawk,
Yes.
right?
Yes. It was,
Yes.
no, he had dreads, I think.
No, that was what?
What?
Dreads?
I
No,
don't
that
remember
was
this.
Fizz, wasn't it?
Oh my
I don't
god,
remember
I
there
don't
being
know.
dreads
There
involved.
was so many of these.
Fizz had dreads. She was the pink one.
Oh my god, I can't remember.
I'm
any
I
not
of
can't
this.
remember.
And similar as
There was
well,
a dog too.
as you mentioned the 5 a.m. thing,
Yeah.
the Hoobs.
the
Hoobs used to be on
Hoops.
all the time at
Oh
like
my
5 a.m.
days.
That was the best.
I can't believe how much I've forgotten about all of them.
So after all
I
that
told
that
you
I
Fizz
brought
had
up,
dreads.
yeah. So out of all of this, I was completely wrong. I had the blue one. I can't even remember her
Wait,
name, but
I
like,
remember the blue one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
And she wore like the yellow.
what's her name again?
I can't remember.
I had her as well.
I did Bella.
Bella.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember having Bella and Fizz as like the dolls.
I remember
yeah.
I had the yellow Teletubby doll for like my whole childhood.
Yes.
Which
Even
one
though
was that again?
the yellow Lala?
Lala. Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
Lala.
Yeah, I
Teletubbies
think
was
Lala
the shit.
was always my favourite.
Yeah. Yeah,
Anyway.
they just. I just thought I'd just chuck some of those
Yeah.
because they were like on the same kind of thing.
Totally.
Shall I go for one on my list, or do you guys
Yeah.
want to take one? Shame.
I don't know. I don't mind.
I'll just do it. Why
Go
not?
for it.
Mr. Bean.
Oh my god.
I remember the animated show more than
Yeah.
I
The animated show
remember
was a lot later.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. So this one, the original one, aired from 1990 to 1995. So that's why we would probably remember the animated one. But I just remember, I think I had the VHS of all of the original ones, possibly, or something like that. I mean, obviously, Rowan Atkinson is Mr. Bean. Anyone who's British knows who Mr. Bean is. In fact, everyone in the world should know who Mr. Bean is because it's a comedy. Yeah, it's iconic, and it's a comedy that like goes across language barriers.
Yeah.
You don't even need to speak. You don't need to be able to speak.
No.
You could be like a rock and you still find it funny.
It's kind of like down the same like vein as Chucklevision and like the
Yeah.
Chuckle Brothers. It's all kind of physical comedy.
Except
You don't
there
need-
is still a lot more dialogue in Chucklevision though.
True.
But it's a very similar
But
thing.
like it takes it further with the physical comedy.
Yeah.
Mr. Bean, like
'Cause
you really don't. Need
It's I mean, there's hardly any speech in it at all. Really.
Yeah, because he doesn't really speak.
Yeah,
Does he?
does sometimes, but
Kind
not
of.
really. For the most
It's
part,
like
it's just him
barely,
walking
yeah.
around like the show would literally just be him. And he's like he goes to like do his washing or
Yeah.
something, and like just the antics that would end up happening because he's just an idiot and he doesn't really understand how to human properly, and it would just every episode would just be making everyday tasks actually entertaining. So
Yeah.
it was just hilarious, and the trouble that he would get into, and obviously the films are brilliant as well. Like they
So
came a lot
I
later.
I haven't seen the films or watched the show, but Shaun knows why, so I'll let you know.
Because
let
your
everyone
mum
else
is
know.
insane.
My mum doesn't like Rowan Atkinson.
Oh, okay.
She
She
is-
has no reason.
Yeah, she doesn't have a reason. Like I mentioned something about it before. She just looked at me. I can't stand him.
Oh,
and I'm just
really?
like,
Oh
like,
my
Mum, why?
Samantha,
She's like,
if you're listening, I disapprove. I'm very upset that you don't like Rowan Atkinson because he's one of the kindest, most brilliant people of all time, and he has made more people happy than possibly any other man alive. Like he across countries. Like Mr. Bean is literally famous like across the world.
Yeah.
I also love him in Love Actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only other thing I know him in is Love Actually, and I thought he was great in that. But
He's just it doesn't even play a big part, but it's still just amazing.
It's brilliant, and he's like super close friends with like Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie and stuff.
but yeah.
That's all I have to say about Mr. Bean. It's brilliant.
That's fair. I like that.
Obviously, the animated one was good too, but
Yeah.
live action one was better because it was the original one. Rowan Atkinson's awesome, and this is a live action episode after all, not
True
an
that.
animated one. Do you want to take the next one, Tony?
Sure. I'm going back to my game shows. Hope
Of
you don't
course.
mind.
Have you got more game shows? Oh my god! How many more can you pick?
You have no idea. I think I only have 2 more on my list.
Okay.
And
Jeez.
they are both both game shows. So I'm putting Catchphrase out there. Catchphrase was great. It
yeah.
used to
Catchphrase was
really
decent.
it would just tickle that.
Yeah.
I don't know, like some part of my brain. I'd just be like, yes.
It's still going,
I am
isn't it?
animated.
They
Yeah, it is.
brought it back.
They rebooted
Celebrity
it. So
catchphrase, normal catchphrase.
So it started off in the one that I would watch was from 1986 to 1999. Those would be the ones that would be on a reboot with Roy Walker as
Oh
the
my
presenter.
goodness, classic.
And it eventually finished in 2004. But
That's
then
a long
that's a long
stint.
show, and then it got picked up again in 2013, and it's still going with Stephen Mulhern.
Yeah.
That Stephen Mulhern. That's the name I was thinking about earlier when I was talking about
Alright,
kids presenters that went on to just basically
Yeah.
be presenters their whole life. He does everything now.
Yeah,
He does.
Like
yeah.
does the Ant and Dec stuff as well, doesn't
in for penny, in for
Yes,
something like that.
I
he? Does
I
everything.
remember what.
I butchered that name.
But yeah, I used to love watching this with my mum because, or even with my whole family, we'd sit there and just be like, trying to guess the catchphrase, seeing who out of us could get it the quickest. It was great.
I feel like Catchphrase is the only like quiz show, game show that I feel like I can actually do. Because anything that involves like for example The Chase, right?
Yeah.
I love watching it, but I'm really rubbish with all the questions and answers and stuff. Like I just have no general knowledge at all. So watching that I'm like, well, I'm dumb. But when like Catchphrase is literally just like I can actually for some reason like pick it up really quickly, and I'm there like, with my parents or whatever, and I'm there like, oh, it's this or whatever it is, and they'll be like, what? How on earth have you seen that already? And I'm just like, I don't know.
It's like, I got
just a natural talent, a catchphrase.
I was much more like, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
Like, I would just watch that. That was way better. I much prefer, I'm the exact opposite of you. Like, I
Yeah.
much prefer just, like, random general knowledge. Because even if I don't know it, then I'm like, I know this now.
I've got better now
family-
watching The Chase.
My whole family are in for like every kind of game show. That's why I like visiting grandparents. If they have the TV on and it's on, I'm like, I don't even care what's going on. I'm watching this game show. I am competing myself on my own over here.
I might
But,
prefer
like,
scripted shows.
I don't know. I just really like it. And then like with catchphrase, it just had all of like, because it was visual and then like we'd always sitting there and there'd be one where it's stupid, where it's just like. They'll have like one phrase where it's like, when pigs fly, which everyone knows that kind of phrase, but then they'll have another one where it's literally just like red hat. And you're just like, what does that mean? And everyone will just sitting there like, that's not a catchphrase, that's just a thing. You can't just put it out there like that. And we
do
just
what they want.
complain. But I really enjoyed catchphrase, and I think me and my professional opinion of growing up with catchphrase, Stephen Mulholland's doing an alright job. It just how I feel
You
about
can't
him.
always beat the original.
Yeah,
though, like,
especially with Roy Walker. Like, he was
Yeah.
such an old guy.
he was such a classic.
Is he still alive?
No, let me
I
find out.
doubt it. No, sorry, Roy, if you're watching.
Oh, he's a big fan.
He, alright, wait. Yeah, he's still alive.
Oh, how old is he?
He's 79.
Only 79? Why did
Yeah,
I think he was like 90
He's
something?
always been 79.
Yeah, I was
He's an
gonna say,
immortal.
He's never aging. I really did think that he was in his 90s.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Jess?
Anyway, my turn.
Yeah, go on.
Moving on swiftly. Okay, so I've got 3 more. How's that
That's
happen?
fine. I usually end up cutting myself short.
Oh,
It's fine.
I have quite a few more somehow.
Okay, cool. So, okay. I feel like I'm gonna go for this one just because it's another Disney Channel show. I'm sorry. Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Yes.
It was a
great.
great show. Okay, I mean, it was just about 2 twins living in a hotel and they were just causing havoc, and I just felt like the show in general touched on a lot of important topics for young kids. Like, they did an episode to do with like body image and like eating disorders and stuff like that, which I thought was really important. And they I feel like they managed to have that good balance between slightly educational but also entertaining as well. And they also broke a lot of the stereotypes of like Maddie, who was she was like an intelligent blonde.
Yeah, who was just working
Who
there
was
to
working there.
get money, and then there was
And then
the Asian girl of London Tech.
yeah, and she was, and like obviously in media,
She
it's there. People are like presented like the Asian people are presented to be the clever ones or like the super smart ones, and then
she was the super
blonde.
rich,
She
dumb.
was super
Yeah,
rich,
so
dumb.
they kind of just had it a bit more of like a variety of different like their opposing stereotypes and stuff. But yeah, but to the basics, it was funny. I
it was
really
just
enjoyed
fun.
it. It was so funny. I really enjoyed the twins. I think they played the role so well, and yeah, I don't know. It was just a real staple in my childhood watching.
I think it's really weird to look back at it, because it was only when I reached like late teens when I realised that Cole Sprouse was a lot more famous than Dylan Sprouse ever was.
I'm surprised though.
Yeah, because like Dylan, it seemed like he was his like everyone's favourite
Yeah.
out of like whenever anyone would watch it. But
Yeah.
Cole Sprouse was in Friends and he was in Big Daddy. Everyone always tells me that they were both them because they were twins. But no, it was only Cole Sprouse who was in either of those shows.
I'm
Or the
surprised.
shows- it was
I
in
thought,
Friends
I
and Big
thought
Daddy.
that they switched. Really?
No, it was always just Cole.
Oh wow.
And it like everyone would always tell me it was both of them, and like because they're twins they can both play it. And I was like, no. As someone who
That doesn't mean
was
they
really
will both
into
play
it.
it, because one of them might just be naturally more confident
Yeah.
and might have wanted to do it more.
Cole Sprouse was like insane as well. I was watching a thing about him, and he would remember everyone else's lines on Friends.
I
So he
remember
was,
reading
like
something like that.
so like say if like Rachel was doing her line in Friends, she'd go, "Wait, what's my line?" And he would just lean over and go, "It's this." And then he'd just be like, "Don't worry, I know everyone's lines. I've got
Legend,
it. I've got it, guys."
legend.
And this was him at like 7 years old.
He was really good in Big Daddy.
He was as well. Like, and this was all at the same time of him doing Sweet Life.
Huh.
I mean, he's done a lot since Sweet Life as
Yeah.
well. Obviously, yeah, he's in Riverdale now, but I'm talking about like education-wise as well, and like
Yeah.
he's, you know, got a degree. He's done a lot like with his career otherwise, and just I think
he's a photographer now
Yeah.
as well.
yeah.
Well, if
he's
you're a
really
Disney
professional
star, you can do whatever
photographer,
you want. Because if you're a
Yeah.
Disney star, you're basically a god living among humans.
essentially.
Although you have a fucked up history to deal with, because if you work for Disney, you've obviously done some.
You know the secrets.
Yeah, there's some crazy shit that going on there.
Yeah.
All that Illuminati shit, you know.
I'd love to know. I would honestly love to know like
Yeah.
the real truth behind it. You know.
I don't think I would. I'm happy. Ignorance is bliss.
But yeah, I can agree
Yeah.
with you. Sweet
Yeah.
Life of Zack and Cody. Like, I don't know why I didn't think of it as something that like I remember as much now, but like it probably would still hold up. I'd be down for watching it. I didn't mind Sweet Life on Deck either.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sweet Life on Deck I watched, but I was a bit older at that point, and like I feel like I'd outgrown it a little bit more. So
Yeah.
I watched it sometimes, but it never hit like it
wasn't
never
the
was
same.
there. It wasn't ever the same because yeah, it just felt really unrealistic that they all just transferred onto a big boat. To be
Yeah.
honest, for me that suspension of disbelief, it just wasn't there. Like I
Yeah,
couldn't.
let's go to college on a
on the
boat.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense to me.
It was very far fetched, but I accepted it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one's a big twist.
Cool.
Goosebumps.
Oh yeah.
So obviously everyone
Ooh,
knows
I recognise
the
the name.
books by R.L. Stein.
Yes.
So yeah, obviously a massive book series. It's now obviously they've got the film that came out fairly recently with Jack Black, which is about the books coming to life. So it's actually directly about the books. It's not like
Oh, that's sick.
yeah, it's about his R.L. Stein's books coming to life. I feel like I haven't seen it, but anyway, the original TV show it came out in 1995 and then finished in 1998, and the actual program was created by R.L. Stein.
Oh, that's
So he wrote all of his books and was like, yeah, I'll make my books into TV episodes. And essentially, like, every episode was a completely different thing. So it was based on, like, various stories he would have, and it would be like, let me think. So there'd be like haunted amusement parks or possessed Halloween masks, various just like horror things. It's just a horror
Oh.
show, and it scared the absolute shit out of me as a kid, and yet I still watched it. I remember I used to watch it every time my nan was babysitting me when my mum was at
Oh,
work.
great.
I would sit there with my nan and watch this, and I also read the
Good
books.
influence.
Like, I'm not even a bit. Well, it's a kids show. It is a kids show. It's designed for kids, but it terrified
It's
me.
designed
I
to
don't know if I've
install
ever
fear in kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
I mean,
think I've ever seen that.
I'm not even a horror fan. Like, I'm not a big fan of horror, but the books were brilliant, and I remember reading them all the time. And the show was really good.
Wow, I feel like I need to watch.
See, I
an
don't.
episode,
I
see if
never
I
watched.
remember it.
I haven't seen any of the films, and I haven't watched the TV show. And I've read only one of the books, and it was one of those. I thought it was a really cool concept because this was the first time I experienced one of those books where you'd read one page, then you'd get to the end, it goes, which do you choose? And you'd choose
Oh.
one thing, and it'll be like, if you choose this, go to this page. If you choose this, go to this page.
Like a choose your own adventure book.
Yeah.
That's so
and you would just
cool.
like flip all the way through the book, and I just thought it was really cool.
He didn't do that with most of his books.
It was with a
but
sea
they're in
monster.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
see,
wasn't with-
he was just a really creative guy.
That's the only thing I remember. There was like a sea monster, and but I don't think I finished the book because I got lost because I didn't know where I was and what story I was taking, so I just got lost. But my aunt had every single one of the books.
There was a lot of them as well.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
He
My
was
aunt
kind of like
collected 'em.
the Black Mirror of horror for kids.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Oh, gosh.
I'm not a fan of Black Mirror, but I am a fan of R.L. Stein. So yeah, Goosebumps. I'd probably watch it now. I'd give it a go.
I mean, I
It's
want to
gonna be.
watch it.
Yeah.
It'll be cringy now because it's
Yeah.
a horror thing designed for kids,
Sure.
made in the freaking like
Another reason.
early
if
90s
I,
or late
if I had
90s.
kids, I'd make them watch it, and then like you got to install fear in them early. Come
Yeah.
on.
Fantastic. I love that.
And as I've still got quite a few left, and you guys don't, I'm just gonna throw another one
Yeah.
quickly.
Go on.
Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, so it's just about a smart kid called Malcolm who lives with a really dysfunctional family, and
Don't we all?
it's him dealing with the troubles of being like a middle child and being a teenager. It came out in 2000 and finished in 2006. Obviously, Frankie Muniz played Malcolm in the Middle, and Bryan Cranston played his dad, and that's
Yes.
that's like the biggest thing that stuck in my mind really is because I used to watch it loads, and Bryan Cranston just played like a really dumb, like funny dad, and
Yeah.
obviously now he's Walter White, like this super villain.
It's just complete opposite.
Yeah, and it's just his acting is just immense. But it was such a funny show, And it was one of those shows that, like, I can't even remember what network it was. And it was an American show, but it was...
I feel like it was on, like, just a normal TV channel.
Yeah.
It was never on... I feel like it was, like, an E4 kind of thing. If you would ever find
like
it
maybe,
anywhere,
like,
it
on
would be
Sky.
there. Yeah.
Something like that. But it was really funny. And I think I'd still watch it now. So then one of those just, like, family sitcoms.
Yeah. I mean, I never really watched it that much, but I know... I've seen a few episodes, but...
I couldn't remember most of the stuff that happened in it because it was very early on that I was watching it. But I remember specifically it having a big influence on my style of humor.
That's fair. Is it quite like dark humor? Not dark, but like sarcastic, dry humor.
At times, because it's still very American.
Okay.
So it's not like the British witty kind of humor, but it's like it's got a lot of just like taking the piss sort of things.
That's fair.
And like the youngest kid was like an absolute demon child.
Oh. Nice.
So you made me think, like, what have I seen Bryan Cranston in between Breaking Bad and Malcolm in the Middle?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just like, I'm just curious, and he is just a voice actor.
Yeah, he didn't really do a lot.
I didn't know that he was a voice actor.
He was a really small-time actor until, he became Walter White.
Small-time? He was in so many things. Just trying to think, he was in Madagascar. He's in Archer. Madagascar 3.
Oh.
He was in The Simpsons as Walter White.
Oh, sorry.
Never seen it.
Yeah. I also didn't realise he was in How I Met Your Mother. I don't know how I didn't clock
I don't
it.
remember him being in that.
He was Hammond Brothers.
Oh, yeah, I remember now.
I forgot that was
He was Ted's boss. I remember now.
He was in Kung Fu Panda.
But he always plays really tiny parts until, he became the biggest thing ever for a while.
He was, like, a fair few people in, like, Family Guy and Robot Chicken. But yeah, sorry, this is just this is me just getting, like, a bit of an appreciation out there for Bryan Cranston because, yeah. But Malcolm in the Middle was great.
Do you want to take the next one?
I've only got one more.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Do
you want to
go
take the
for
next
another one?
Jess?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, I've got 2 more, so...
I have loads more. How has this happened?
I don't know. We've had a few of the same.
Yeah,
though,
we
so I
did.
feel
We
like
did
that's
keep
kind of
cutting each other off.
Okay, so this one, I don't really remember much about it, and I don't know why it's so high up on my list. But anyway, here we go. It's High Five.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that the next one on your list, Tony?
No, it wasn't. I cut it off
That's
of my
not a
list.
game show.
I put it onto an honourable mention.
Oh,
so.
okay. Yeah, so it's an Australian show, which for some reason I didn't realise it was an Australian show.
Yeah. I feel like they did have a
Wasn't
UK
it shown
one, but
on
it
Milkshake?
sucked.
Is that
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it was, Milkshake.
Milkshake
Oh,
was,
what a
yes.
classic.
It was on at like 7 o'clock in the morning. It was
Yeah,
great.
exactly. But yeah, essentially it was just this group of people who would like do loads of like songs and dances, and then in between each song and dance they would do like some arts and crafts. They would do like segments where they actually bring in, like, where they went to film with like viewers and like young children and or like the age, obviously, demographics of what is who's watching this show, like really young, like toddlers and stuff, like doing things like at the beach or at a park or something. And I don't know, it was just such an endearing show. It was just lovely. It was just easy watching.
I put it on my
watched it.
honourable mentions because I remember watching it and really enjoying it, but I don't remember anything about it.
I don't
That's
think
the
there was
problem.
much to it. Like,
Yeah.
I literally, because like...
Well, they essentially like glorified Pontins,
Yes.
like entertainers.
I mean, kind of,
From what
yeah.
I remember,
they had,
yes.
like, yeah, they were kind of lip syncing with their like little like head microphone
God.
things,
Yes.
doing little group dances and pretending to sing and whatnot. And they were there in a little stage area with an audience and stuff. So they would be doing songs like that, and then they would each have their individual little segments where they would do something, whether it be arts and crafts or they would like try and like figure something out, or like, I don't know, just like a challenge or something. And then they'd have like almost stuffed animal puppets like coming in and out of the thing, and it was just so
it was such a
random.
wild ride
Yeah,
of
it
a
was
TV show.
crazy.
But
I feel like I was busy watching like Power Rangers or something at this
Oh,
time.
probably.
Hell yeah,
Shout out to
Power
Power
Rangers.
Rangers.
Oh my
That's my honorable mention.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know why I put that. Oh, I did actually put. Now I'm looking. I put an arrow, swapping 2 things. Anyway, I was wondering
Yes.
why that it was a number 2 on my list.
Mine haven't really been in that much of an order. They're just
Yeah.
ones that
Yeah.
I liked.
I mean, I feel like High Five was amazing, but it doesn't deserve to be
Number
the one
two.
but last. No
The
offense.
penultimate one. Alright, I'm gonna do a couple here
Yeah.
so that you guys can, like, not do
Yeah.
your last ones and then me just
Yeah.
be talking for ages. I'll try and be quick. So, this one's is like a whole franchise, and that's The Muppets.
Okay, yeah.
Jim Henson, Frank Oz, you know, those
Mhm.
guys, they're absolute
The
legends.
greats.
Yeah. And everything about The Muppet Show and the films is just phenomenal. The music is incredible, and I feel like the music really like inspired me to want to do that. Animal, obviously, especially being that I'm a drummer. And
Yes.
I definitely had lots of ADHD traits as a kid, so definitely related to Animal. The comedy is awesome, and it still is. Like, you can still watch it as an adult, and it's still hilarious. And it was really wholesome. Yeah, it started in 1976,
Wow.
and obviously it's still going.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure if the Muppet Show is, but the Muppets
Yeah.
are still
Yeah.
going very
Yeah,
much.
it is.
I stopped for a while, and it
The only
came
reason
back,
I know
wasn't
that
it?
is because of because that is the one that has Elmo in it, isn't it?
No,
Well,
that's
Sesame
Sesame Street.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
always
that's
I always get confused
but that's
between them two.
all of that is still Jim
Like
Henson.
it's still
and
like
yeah,
yeah, that's
Jim
why I
Henson.
get confused.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I'm just thinking Sesame Street is definitely going on because they had Little
Yeah.
Nas X on it not that long ago.
Well, I know the Muppets like do almost like commercials now.
Yeah.
They like get brought in by companies to like, I don't know what
They do
companies it
all
is,
sorts.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Because they still
do a lot of
like they've done videos with like YouTubers and stuff as well now,
Wow.
and like I mean big YouTubers,
Yeah.
not like you know
Yeah, of course.
yeah not little ones, but like I did a video with Lindsay Sterling, the violinist.
Oh yeah.
They did
Oh,
like
yeah.
I love
did
her.
a song. It was really good. I don't know a few things,
Mm.
but I feel like they just they just do
pop
like
up.
the odd film every now and then, which is
Yeah.
amazing, and then like just the bits and the cameos sort of stuff.
I love the Muppets Christmas Carol. That's my favourite one.
That
of
was
all of
on
them.
my
The top. That was it. That was in your one about musicals.
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
yeah, that was in my musicals one. Yeah, I
Yeah,
had-
that's my favourite Muppets one.
yeah, I really liked that one. I think that was quite high up on my list on the
Yeah.
musicals thing. But then I don't really like musicals, so the Muppets had to be high up because they are the best at musicals. No one's better than the Muppets at that. And this one, my next one, is going to be kind of. These are the sort of shows that I was watching while you guys would have been watching the Disney Channel stuff. So you was watching Hannah Montana and like Wizards of Waverly Place and stuff. I was doing the Dan Schneider shows
Okay.
I
on
know.
Nickelodeon.
yeah.
So I was watching. Well, okay, yeah. Let's start with this one. So the best one, Drake and Josh.
Yeah. I was putting that. I was gonna put that on my
Yeah.
list.
So that was 2004 to 2007, and then obviously it was followed up by iCarly.
Yeah.
So both
Yeah.
of these are on my list, and they're made by Dan Schneider, who was just a boss. Drake and Josh are like stepbrothers. One of their mum marries the other one's dad. I can't remember exactly which way around it was.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
And
sure
then-
it was Josh's mum, right? Oh, actually, no.
I think it was Drake's
Oh
mum.
no, it was Drake's mum.
Yeah.
I think it was Drake's mum. And
been so
then
long.
obviously Megan was there as well,
Yeah.
and that was Josh's younger sister, I believe.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
seems right.
And yeah, it was basically just them trying to deal with being brothers, even though they're complete opposites, and then dealing with Megan, who was just like an evil genius,
Prankster.
essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than just a prankster.
Yeah, and the show was just them like trying to exist at school and being teenagers and stuff, but it was fucking hilarious. And I just remember that Megan was a great character, and her pure evilness. I learned so much from her.
Such an opposite character to then Carly and iCarly as well.
Even though obviously same actor.
Yeah.
What's her name? Miranda Cosgrove.
Yeah.
And I remember Crazy Steve in Drake and Josh
Crazy-
was one of my
Older
favorite
brother,
characters,
right?
and then he ends up
Yeah.
becoming her older brother in iCarly, and he's still like the best character in iCarly as well. He's
Yeah,
fucking
for
brilliant.
sure.
And because they went over it to being in a show together, they ended up creating that whole like theory between Drake and Josh and iCarly
Oh.
that Crazy Steve actually just abducted her and then created this whole new life and then just kept
Oh my
her and then he was
God.
just like, okay, I'm now your older brother who has to look after you.
I've never heard of that, but gosh, that sounds rather interesting.
So I prefer Drake and Josh to iCarly because it was like
Yeah.
my thing.
It had a
and I
slightly
loved
different
it.
humour as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But I still loved iCarly, mainly because Jeanette McCurdy, who played Sam,
Yes.
I still have a crush on her. I had a crush on her then, I still do.
She's a crushable person.
She is so hot.
I remember, so when I was younger, I used to watch Glee. Because like this was when I was in primary school when I started watching Glee, because I used to talk to one of my teachers about it. But I remember watching iCarly in the later seasons, and I can't remember, Jane Lynch shows up, and I was like, oh my god,
who's that?
She's Sam's mum.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh my god, it's Jane Lynch. Which is how I feel every time I see her in anything.
Jane Lynch is awesome.
So yeah, but iCarly was a great show. It was on my honorable
iCarly
mentions.
was 2007 to 2012. So it literally, as soon as Drake and Josh finished, Dan Schneider was like, right, let's make this next one.
Let's make another thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of like crossovers with Dan Schneider. He loved reusing characters, like not characters, but actors.
Yeah.
So like with Drake and Josh to iCarly, then you had like with Jeanette McCurdy, she was
Sam
in
and Cat.
Sam and Cat, but then she was
That
also
was a direct
in
thing.
Zoe
She
101.
plays the same character. Zoe 101 was good as well.
Yeah, that was going to be on my list, but then I actually was aware of like all the drama and like scandal revolving around like bullying and everything.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want to like give it clout.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, he loved reusing and like Victoria Justice. She was the boxer, right? Like in iCarly towards the end, like she was
so.
like a boxer or something
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
she shows up for a bit and then.
And then she got her own show, obviously.
Yeah.
Victorious.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, Dan Schneider had his like
He owned
team.
Nickelodeon, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he owned the live action, but side
Yeah.
of Nickelodeon. But I mean, let's be real, the cartoons were better. Fairly Odd Parents, SpongeBob, they win.
Go back to the last episode if you
Exactly.
can't remember.
Yeah.
So Drake and Josh and iCarly, and now I only have one left, so we can
cool.
we can go round.
So
Tony?
we mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to now give it the recognition it deserves of Takeshi's Castle.
Oh, lovely.
That was on my honorable mentions.
So this show was absolute nonsense. So in my research, because I only remember it as the TV show, I watched it, but it was a Japanese show that then was changed to be a British show.
It just got a voiceover, that was it.
Yeah. So so what I found out is it would be very different if you watched it in Japan. So they would just take clips of it and then have the voiceover, and that's how we would watch it in the UK. But just if you don't know what it was like a stupid, like physically challenging game show kind of thing.
It was Total Wipeout, except way, way, way better and
It was
way more
incredible,
challenging.
Yeah.
yes. And there were certain things that certain challenges that they had that I remembered I would prefer to watch.
Yeah.
So it'd be like some episodes I'd be like, oh my god, they have this challenge. So there was like the honeycomb maze, I remember that, and I'd be like watching and being like, don't go through that door.
Is that the one? Wait, is that the one where they have to like you're on like this like round kind of maze thing, and then like you've got the people trying to catch them.
Yeah.
And then
they had
going
like a
through
glove
doors and
covered
you have
in
to
like
get...
soot.
Yes.
And it was just,
oh my
yes.
god. That's the
It was
best
just human
one.
it was watching people get tortured.
Yes. And they had
At a mild degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they had like the door challenge where they had to just run through a door and they had to find the sugar wall, and if there was like one sugar wall and then they would just go through and you just see them running, and then they'd hit like a wooden wall and they just hit it and go straight back and it just fall down like people.
This wouldn't be allowed right
you would
now.
definitely see them like knocking themselves out. But it was hilarious. And so Chris Tarrant was the OG like voiceover
the
guy.
English voiceover.
No, because he was like the first one that we had, and then it got switched over to Craig Charles. So you know who Craig Charles is, right?
No.
From Red Dwarf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
I'll see if I can get a picture of it.
I only know the Chris Tarrant version.
I don't
remember him a
either
little
of the
bit.
voice actors, to be honest.
I like have like a very kind of like
Voice actors.
I guess they're voice actors.
I suppose so.
The narrators. Yeah,
So
he's the
this
guy.
is Craig
He's
Charles.
in like Coronation Street as well.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
He plays,
Coronation Street,
the
That's
main-
how I recognise him.
He's the main person in Red Dwarf.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like it was just I remember watching this. It was yet again another one of those shows that would be on in the middle of the day, and I'm there just like got medicine in my system. I'm drinking Lucozade like it's the only thing keeping me alive.
All of your memories of these amazing shows are just when you were ill with tonsillitis.
It would literally be me like wrapped in a blanket on the sofa watching it just with like an orange Lucozade just like But it was just like this would perk me up and it would be so much funny. Like it would be so funny.
much funny.
And
So
also-
much funny.
Yeah, so much funny. So much fun to watch. And
Yeah.
also I put a note here because I don't remember this happening, but apparently it happened. Dick and Dom also were the voiceover.
Oh.
What?
For a while.
Well,
I think
They
it
were
was
just
like
voiceovers
1
for
year.
everything.
I'm sorry, but speaking of Dick and Dom, I am having to come back here. and you can go last as you're the guest, Jess. Well, my number one, other than the one that you stole from me already, but this is a joint number one. Dick and Dom in the Bungalow.
It was a good show.
CBBC.
Yeah.
Where the people were, the channel it was on. Presented by Dick and Dom is what made them famous, essentially. They did something beforehand, but this is what made them who they are. It was on weekend mornings, and it was on like loads of different BBC channels, and it had 5 series, which I thought it had more for some reason.
Yeah, it does feel like that.
It went from 2002 to 2006, and it was just, like, I remember I woke up early every weekend, and I don't wake up early. That's not who I am as a human being. I never have been. But I would wake up early every weekend so I could go and watch Dick and Dom in the Bungalow, and then watch like the cartoons that were on like around it as well. And it was awesome. And I would have loved to be a bungalow head, which is what they called the people that like went onto the show.
Yeah.
And I think like the main thing I love about it is like the whole thing was like a relaxed, improvised comedy essentially. Like they would have like a rough thing to go on, but other than that, they would just be fucking around, and they would be doing like prank calls, like games where they would all just be getting covered in just goo and stuff. And they would do like obviously the famous games like Bogies, which was like a British phenomenon that probably still exists now. There's people that have never heard of Dick and Dom, and yet they probably still play Bogies.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just a thing now.
Definitely.
And they also did a game where they stuck increasingly large stickers of their faces onto things in public to see who would win, and it would get to like such an extreme thing. Like there would be like a sticker that's like 3 meters big, and they would just be putting it onto like billboards and stuff. It was brilliant.
It was just so chaotic, but also amazing at the same time.
I didn't watch this because it would give me anxiety. I was too much of like a good child, and I'd be like, they are causing so much chaos. Why?
This is why I'm such a chaotic human being. I took everything from it and was like, how can I be more chaotic than this? I would do all of these things that I possibly could, and very often get into trouble. But yeah,
they didn't.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. That was my top.
I definitely remember in secondary school, Bogies was such a big thing still. Like, you just, like, hear one person in the back of the room just sit there and go, Bogies, and you go, oh,
even though the show had finished years earlier.
Yeah, literally.
Like, yeah, I was in school from, like, 2012, I think. I don't know, I can't remember. I'm not good at remembering what year I did anything.
I don't even know what year it is now.
But, like, just, it was weird being, like, that age and still having people just, like, you hear, like, one of the guys in the back of the class in, like, maths or something just sit there and go, Bogies, and be like, oh no. It's starting, and then you just...
I would always win that game, because I had nothing holding me back. So someone would just whisper it, and I would just stand up and just shout at the top of my lungs, and everyone would be like, what the fuck? And so it would just ruin the game for everyone.
Oh my god.
That's one way to deal with it.
I had nothing, like, stopping me.
Yeah.
Well, right, is it my turn?
Yeah.
It's the last one.
Here we go for a final one.
Okay, so yeah, this is the number one of my list because basically it just shaped who I am as a person today. No, but it's H2O, Just Add Water.
Oh my god, yes!
Yeah.
I watched that show as well. It was such a girly show, but...
It was, honestly, like, it came out in 2006, but it was just, I just feel like it was ahead of its time, and it was just so... Like, it was just that, number one, like, the characters, they were all quite complex, and that's quite unusual for, like, a teen kids show, usually.
Yeah.
And obviously it's Australian, which then fueled my, like, obsession for wanting to, like, move to Australia and be Australian, and then also mermaids. And I remember a school project we had to, like, create a company, and... Of course, what was my company called? Mermaidia. And it was like animatronic, like mermaid tails.
Oh my god, yes.
And they exist now, and I'm really gutted that, like...
Another thing
stolen
from
you.
you.
Yeah, I know. I need to write to Shakira and also the people that invented those tails and be like, it's called Mermaidia, and I want all your money. Yeah, no, but it was just such... an amazing show in so many different ways. I just remember watching it like all the time. Any chance that I could get to watch it, I would watch it.
That was a Nickelodeon show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was, yeah. And like, I remember when my parents got a new TV, like we went from like a box TV, like the old style box TVs, to a flat screen TV. I say that in quotation marks, but you can't actually see it. Anyway, yeah. And the first thing that I watched on this new, like, massive TV was H2O, and I was just mesmerised. It's like the water,
Yes.
the swimming scenes, like where they were like slow motion swimming with the, oh my god, it was like this new experience. Like I had like, you know, those goggles, what are they called, VR, like virtual reality, like headset. It felt like I was just in the water. It was just awesome, and yeah, everything about it was just amazing.
Yes. Just thinking, like, there was a specific episode that I remember where I can't remember any of their names, but the
Emma,
one...
Cleo, Ricky.
Ricky. It was Ricky. Thank you.
Wow.
The
It's
only
number
one I
for a
could
reason.
remember, Cleo.
Yeah.
But when Ricky was dating that guy who was a douchebag.
Zane.
Yes. But he was like attempting to free dive, and he went down too low and he passed out.
Yeah.
And then she came along and rescued him, and I was just like, oh my god, this is so romantic.
Yeah.
Because I think it was before they were even dating, and I was like, oh, it's so sweet.
Yeah. It was
And then
so
yeah.
cool.
But I do remember, I didn't even think of putting that down for
Really?
this. I think it would have been up there, or at least somewhere on my list, because this was such a good show.
It's on Netflix.
Really?
I think
It's
I
on the
rewatched it a
kids'
couple years ago.
Netflix. Yeah, like it's on the kids, obviously, but like it's on Netflix, and it's just, again, like I don't know how many seasons there are. I'm pretty sure there are only 3 seasons, so it felt like there were so many more seasons and episodes, but
Time feels
apparently
differently
not.
when
Yeah,
you're
it
like young.
does.
Yeah.
And there was just this whole like romance storyline with Cleo and Lewis. And then Lewis, like, basically got with this other girl, like the red-haired girl, and
then she
hated
became
her.
a mermaid.
Yeah, she became a mermaid, but she wanted to sabotage everything about the 3 friends, and
How do you become a mermaid?
So you go
Like
to
a
the
vampire thing.
it's
you
like
go to
a
the
magic
Mako,
pool.
like,
Yeah,
oh, what is
Mako
it? Like,
Island.
Mako Island, and yeah,
in
there
a
was a
moon
magic pool, and yeah.
Oh, I was hoping it was like a vampire thing. You get bitten by a mermaid, you start growing scales.
But if you are underneath the full moon, your powers are stronger as a
Yeah.
mermaid.
Well, that makes sense because the
And
tides.
and they had to like, and they'd have like
They're water
full
benders.
moon. They'd have like full moon sleepovers where they would basically
Lock
like
themselves.
lock themselves in and like duct tape the windows and any kind of reflection of the moon, because if they looked at the moonlight, they would like get in this trance kind of state and like do really crazy chaotic things and like try to like kill themselves
So,
and
like,
stuff.
werewolf-
They would
werewolves.
become like full on mermaids, and they would try and like get boys to come into the water with them.
Yeah.
And, like
Like
it
a
was
siren.
really weird. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it was
became
so
like full
weird.
of, it was really weird, but I remember it fondly.
That's twisted.
Yeah, but
And like Cleo was just like really ballsy and started working in like a water park.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
she
not a water
did.
park, like she worked with like dolphins and
Dolphins.
orcas in like one of those places. I can't think what it is, like an aquarium.
yeah, but it was as part of a theme park,
Yeah.
like a water park kind
Yeah.
of thing. But
It was
yeah,
really,
it was
yeah.
just such a good show.
Does anyone have a bunch of honourable mentions? Because we're running out
Yes.
of time.
Okay.
I was like, I was just thinking like any of my honorable mentions. WWE.
Wow.
I was not expecting that.
That was a change of pace.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, just like the first thing I
Mermaids to
saw.
WWE.
Yes, WWE is on my list because we used to watch it as a family, and it was great. And as a family, even the cats watched it.
Oh my god.
The cats would sit there watching it with us, and we'd be like, oh my god, yeah, we're watching wrestling. And suddenly one of the cats would just sit there and just attack the other one, and we'd be like, oh no!
Oh my god.
They were learning.
Inspired.
Exactly. You used to say that they was actually like learning from it, getting different moves, and then they would attack each other. Also, on here, Robot Wars. I really enjoyed
Robot
Robot
Wars
Wars.
was great. It's back now as well.
Is
Oh my God,
it?
is that- Yes.
I think it might only be a live thing now, or like it's a niche thing, but it
Yeah.
still is going. It's the same like company. And
That's the
everything.
one where they like created virtually the robot and then
No.
they actually in real life did it.
I don't think so. This was
No, they
literally
actually
just
build the
these
robots
were
and
people,
go in
yeah,
there.
these were
and just-
people who were just like, we're gonna build a robot, including the people from Mythbusters.
Yeah.
Oh.
They made one,
But
but
that
they
one-
weren't allowed to have it on there because it was so powerful. It would
Yeah.
destroy absolutely everything it got in touch with. So they was like, this
Oh
is
my
unfair
God.
against the others, so you're not allowed to play.
But that was extreme. Like some of them would have like flamethrowers and stuff.
my
Yeah,
God.
it was great.
Very complex. I love that.
But yeah, so Robot Wars. And the only other thing I have on here is Balamori
Yes.
and the Storymakers.
Oh my god. Storymakers.
Storymakers was also on mine. And then there's Step Inside, which was
Yeah.
very similar to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Step inside.
And then I have Smart, so the budget
Yeah.
art attack, which
Yeah.
is nowhere near as good. but it was still good. Brum. Everyone remember
Yes.
Brum?
Yeah,
Brum was
of
sick.
course.
And Basil Brush.
Yeah. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
I guess mine are Prank Patrol.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah. House of Anubis. I don't know if any of you guys saw
I
that.
recognise the name.
It was on Nickelodeon in 2011, but it wasn't like a massive show, and I didn't really speak to many people who knew about it at the time, but I really enjoyed it, and it was, like, the acting was a bit shit, not gonna lie, but in general, like, Eugene Simon, who plays Lancel Lannister in Game of Thrones,
Oh, okay.
he's in it, so he started his career off in House of Anubis, didn't know that. And then my third one is Lost. Even though it's not a childhood
That's not a kid's show at all.
but it came out in 2004, and I swear to God, I was watching it from 2004 with my parents. They were obsessed with it at the beginning, and I watched it with them, and then I became obsessed with it. So it just, I don't know, maybe that's why I'm like traumatized as an adult.
I watched a lot of adult shows as a kid, but
Yeah.
I would try not to put them in the list so that I could limit myself.
Yeah.
Because I would just be talking about loads of shows that are definitely not child friendly.
Yeah, no, I just remember like the last episode of Lost getting really upset because, like, spoilers, the main character like ends up dying by like saving the island and like whatever from like total destruction, and he dies, but like as he's dying, this like Labrador comes and sits by him and like dies next to him, and it's just like the saddest thing, and I just remember being traumatized. So yeah, I thought that would be a great honourable mention.
Yeah.
Wow. Well done to traumatize us right at the end.
Yeah, exactly. End up on a high.
Okay, should we finish off with a would you rather? Do you have one for us?
Yeah, I do. So I'm really uninventive, and so I just found one online. So
That's
here
fine.
we go. Okay, so would you rather have whatever you're thinking in a thought bubble above your head for everyone to see,
Okay.
or everything you do live streamed for everyone to see?
Can I profit from the live stream?
No.
Like a TV show might
Like-
get
Like a
get-
Truman Show kind of thing, but not. You can't profit out of it.
Yeah, because like he wasn't benefiting from
So
the
to
Truman
see
Show.
all of my thoughts or to see everything I do,
Yeah,
essentially.
exactly.
Which would I rather? Ooh.
I'd go for thoughts because I know I spend a lot more time alone than I do like with other people, and like I have a lot of blank thoughts when I'm around other people.
But wouldn't you be worried that like you suddenly like thought like something really negative about someone, and you were talking to them, and like they were saying something really boring, you're like, God, they're
I'm so
fucking
bored.
I think some really horrific things.
Yeah,
So,
I was gonna say like intrusive thoughts.
like, yeah, like
oh my God.
You get some sexual thoughts. Yes, because I mean it's been proven people think about sex a lot. So even for a split second, you just walking around, you see someone hot, boom, you think of a slight thing, and then they see that
there
instantly.
We go. So you would say live
What an
stream
icebreaker.
Yeah, I'd live stream because
Yeah.
you can control your actions.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
So yeah, I think
This
the live
goes back
stream.
to, I think it was one that Dan brought up, wasn't it? Something about like there being a camera in my bathroom.
Yeah.
It's like everyone can always see when you are like in the bathroom, and it's just I don't know. That's the one thing that I feel most insecure
I would
about.
be-
Like I want people seeing me on the toilet.
If people saw my thoughts,
Yeah.
I would either be arrested or someone would kill me. And I don't want either of those things to happen, so I think the actions is a safer
Yeah.
bet for me.
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that.
I also,
Yeah.
I would, like when I was like writing it down, I was also thinking that as well, because you can kind of hide and cover your actions. You can't always hide your thoughts,
Yeah.
really, can you?
Yeah.
Because by hiding your thoughts, you'd be hiding them publicly, wouldn't you? Right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you'd need to think the thought first
It
to
would be
hide
like-
it.
Yeah.
Like your thought inside a thought, and it'll be crossed out.
Yeah. You're like, no. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, that's another one in the bag.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us, Jess.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Yay.
That's the episode, guys. I hope you liked it.
we don't know where we're going after this, but we'll be somewhere.
Nothing's
in
planned for the
the
next
time.
one. But we're gonna mix it up. We've done a lot of like TV shows and stuff now, so we're gonna mix it up with something different next time.
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
We may or may not have a guest. Let us know if you want to be on the show, or if you have any ideas, or if you have any good would you rathers that you want us to do. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Because if you don't like it or subscribe, then we don't know if you actually
Like
care
it.
about us doing it. And if you don't care about us doing it, we won't fucking do it, will we?
Wow.
Um,
A real mood booster at the end of this.
yeah.
Thank you for listening, and we will talk at you again at another time. Goodbye.
Bye.